Hello, a lessons learned presentation in fulfillment of CYB 670, section 9040, project 3. This presentation is by Eugene Quay. In this presentation, I address the work performed during recovery, the areas the incident response team was effective, areas that needed improvement, which includes security controls, how to improve those controls, how to improve security awareness programs, what the current operation system vulnerabilities were, and how they were leveraged during the attack, and then how to manage patches in basic operating system security to enhance the protections from known threats. After the incident, these activities were performed to contain and eradicate the attack. Network traffic was analyzed to understand the attack and be able to respond appropriately. Malicious files containing the ransomware code were identified and analyzed. Intrusion detection systems were reviewed to identify flaws that needed to be addressed. Images of files were examined to understand the attack and collect information about the malicious attack. Some of it also contained instructions on how to recover the encrypted files. The files encrypted were decrypted to allow access, which would then allow operations to continue. Snort rules were created to address the attack by creating specific alerts which would be fired when some conditions were met. Effective areas. Areas where the incident response team was effective include the restoration of the system to normal operations. The team did a good job of analyzing data packets and identifying the source of the attack. They were able to trace the attack process and scenario to help design a solution for prevention. The team was able to put the findings of the forensic investigation together in a comprehensive report with recommendations to guide upper management on the best course of action. A software development lifecycle involving modern development strategies such as Agile was created based on system deficiencies. This was to help avoid vulnerabilities in future. The team responded effectively to help prevent the loss of data. This also included decrypting files involved in the attack. Areas needing improvement. On a high level, the areas that needed improvement are a proactive approach to system security, including patch management, access control, system monitoring, and regular system audits. Employees must be trained on policy and best practices to help prevent such attacks in future. Intrusion detection, intrusion prevention, and firewalls must be configured to filter packets with malicious features. The supply chain operations of the organization must be reviewed to address network device vulnerabilities that result in system security issues. Group policy and an acceptable use policy must be clearly defined. This will help protect users and systems from getting infected with malicious software. Failed controls. The intrusion detection systems failed to detect the transmission of malicious files over the network. Such files contain malicious code that executed the ransomware attack. Network intrusion detection systems and firewalls also failed to alert system administrators of the malicious transfer after the user responded to the prompt to activate a macro or update the spreadsheet. The HR employee's user account should not have the privilege of activating features within the application. Applications must already be configured, and any updates or further configurations must be managed by an administrator through a group policy. Operating system and software patch management should have captured the request to update the spreadsheet. Patch management configurations will have intercepted the request presented to the user by disabling the option to do the update. Finally, updates must be executed on client devices using group policy. The user should not have received that request to update the spreadsheet. A group policy should have pushed the update to the device already, but this was not defined. So improving these failed controls, we want to look at the following. 1. Set up intrusion detection systems, either with snort rules or dedicated systems to track down suspicious data packets. Also, monitor the network at all times to reveal malicious activities. This can help to avoid an attack proactively. Conduct an audit of user accounts to determine which roles are not warranted. Such accounts should be returned to the required roles, following the principle of least privilege. Regular patch management ensures that any vulnerabilities are addressed, and also the to ensure the uniform application of secure configurations across the network. GPOs must be employed to manage access. To improve awareness, users must be trained regularly on how to detect and avoid threats. This includes teaching not to click on any pop-ups and signs to identify a suspicious file. An acceptable use policy must be available to users. It must be accessible to allow users to be educated on what is acceptable or not. Vulnerability scanning and penetration tests must be conducted to reveal and create awareness on areas with vulnerabilities, and users must be compelled to follow these policies. This begins with policy awareness and enforced by human resources. The operating system vulnerabilities discovered are: 1. The current operating system had weak remote desktop protocols, also called RDS, because it was protected with a weak password. This allows an attacker or malware to easily compromise the system. Weak firewall configurations allowed malware to traverse the network. This could have been protected with robust firewall rules. The virus and threat protections were not configured properly to identify the malware that caused the files to be encrypted. Also, not managing operating system patches enhances the vulnerabilities in the system, leading to a weakness that can be exploited by attackers. And then finally, the user role allowed the user to opt for the spreadsheets update that led to the transmission of the ransomware. This can be attributed to the user access which was not properly managed. So to enhance the security of the system, 1. Operating systems are improved regularly.